My name is Madeline,
Hi, Madeline.
and I'm a survivor of long-term abuse by a man named Alexander, or Alex Wisniewski.
Well, that's terrible if that's true.
I have already tried the legal route. I have already contacted his employer.
Okay, he must have done something pretty terrible for you to do that.
And I have publicly outed him here on social media a few times.
Okay.
But out of fear, I have taken those videos down.
Okay.
But I'm not scared anymore. And so tonight, in solidarity with every survivor across the world, and on the eve of the vote to release those files...
Oh, the Epstein files. Okay, yeah.
I will be reading aloud the most damning parts of my documentation.
Let's hear the most damaging or damning parts of the documentation.
This segment is about sexual coercion, so viewer discretion is advised.
All right, incredible stuff. So just to be explicitly clear, coercion is the practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. Okay, let's see.
I was struggling with my libido and wasn't as interested in sex as Alex was.
Oh, that could be tough, man. I've been in relationships where my sex drive didn't match my partner's. It's tough stuff.
But initially, he was understanding. Over time, however, he began guilt-tripping me when I wasn't interested, making me feel pressured into sexual activities to appease him.
Okay, what does that mean? Like, what are the specifics?
The coercion started to become more severe after about 6 months of living together.
What does coercion mean? Like, he was threatening you to harm you if you wouldn't do it? Or he was like, oh, if we don't have sex anymore, like, we should break up. It's okay to break up with somebody if you are incompatible in any way. Sexually, physically, emotionally, doing the same things together. What does the coercion look like? This is a very big accusation to make.
Alex would not take no for an answer.
Okay.
Sometimes up to around 4 or 5 times, repeatedly pushing me with phrases like, "We can do what you want to do. You don't have to do anything you don't want to."
Oh, that doesn't really sound like coercion.
"At least let me give you oral sex. Come on, we never have sex anymore." If I still declined, he would shut down all intimacy and withdraw emotionally for the night.
Okay.
Go to bed without me and make me feel very guilty about the situation.
Oh. Well, here my question is, like, why not break up? Why not break up then if you guys aren't compatible anymore? I would say that for both parties. Like, why stay together at that point? You're not sexually compatible.
Honestly, most of the times I would give in.
Okay.
I felt an immense amount of guilt and pressure.
I don't know, man. Sometimes my wife and I will have sex when the other one doesn't want to, but we still consent to it. Does that make sense? I think it does. I'm not really hearing coercion, though. You need to be very explicit. This is a very heavy accusation.
I eventually confronted him during one of these instances around summer of 2023.
Okay.
I directly told him that this is coercion, and I was met with defensive-ness and...
I don't know. So far, what she explained to me wasn't really coercion. Him being like, I really want to have sex. Listen, we could do what you want. I can make you comfortable. We'll, blah, blah, blah. Let me go down on you to try to get you in the mood. Like, this doesn't sound like coercion. This sounds like he's trying to have sex with his partner with a contract that, so then usually these relationship contracts, you cannot sleep with other people. So if you want to get sexual gratification, you kind of have to sleep with your partner. So
Niall, he even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, "If you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together."
That's not a threat. Okay, so not trying to be an asshole. This is where, like, you lose everything forever. Sorry, like, but like if he's like, if we're not sexually compatible, I want to break up. It sounds like you were two people in a relationship that didn't work out, and you now decide that it's coercion and sexual assault. What?
This really upset him, and he managed to make me feel an immense amount of guilt for even accusing him of it.
What? I mean, what? Yeah, it sounds like you accused him of coercion unjustifiably. Why don't you just break up?
This next segment will be covering physical aggression disguised as play. There were
Okay, gotcha.
instances of forced physical restraint and assault.
Assault? What the fuck did he do? Did he, like, sexually assault you? And now we're talking. That's it's terrible if that's true.
He would pin me down with his entire body using both his arms and legs, making it impossible for me to move. He would then dig his hands and very forcefully into my armpits and ribcage to tickle me.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't... Is it rude to say I don't care? You started off with saying he was coercing you by trying to have sex with you when you literally explained to us that, like, you're having a drastic shift in your libido, which is definitely a relationship struggle. That's what you're telling us. So you got that wrong. You don't seem to know what coercion is. You seem to be associating, and then, like, you weren't under duress. Like, you could have left the relationship. He wasn't threatening to force you to stay in the relationship. So you guys were two people that weren't compatible. And now you're like, and now my charity has been diminished significantly. And so now you're like, yeah, he would get on top of me and he would tickle me. You know, and maybe that was distressing. I don't know. I do that to my wife. We have tickle fights. I don't trust your ability to interpret situations. So now I'm not going to trust this.
which would cause pain. I would repeatedly yell at him to stop and let him know that he was hurting me, yet he would continue. Sometimes this would last for up to 5 minutes. It would reach a point that I would be in such a state of panic that I would have to use an immense amount of force to either kick him off or roll out of his grip. And even if I did escape, he would pin me down again and repeat the whole process.
Okay.
These were always played off as jokes.
Well, I imagine that was considered. I don't know. Maybe he did something wrong here. I don't know. But I already questioned your ability to interpret information. So
I was always accused of overreacting when I stated the pain and the discomfort from these incidents.
Okay. I mean, you literally said he coerced you when it came to sex because he would try to have sex with you. Okay.
That is only part of my story. That wasn't even what hurt me the most.
Oh.
But
you just said that was the most damning evidence.
Let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots.
Okay.
Because we're not staying silent anymore.
You're not. From what I just heard, maybe you don't know how to communicate yourself particularly well, but you are not somebody who was abused by this guy, and I think it's a shame that you're trying to be a victim. I think that we live in a culture that tries to make everybody feel like, or it makes everybody want to operate in a way to victimize themselves for some kind of attention online. I don't think that you were abused. Based on what you said, it sounds like you were in a relationship that wasn't compatible, and instead of breaking up, you wanted to stay with him. But sexual compatibility is a very real thing, and you just didn't have sexual compatibility, and your relationship was miserable because you look like you're young. That's what happens when you're young. You go get into relationships that aren't compatible, and then you learn about yourself and about what you want from another partner. So, okay.